Is it like by your standards, since you're the one who was talking shit about Boys to Men the other day, is it by your standard good cheating music?
Ooh, it's wonderful cheating music. It's wonderful. It makes you want to cheat.
What do you think is missing from cheating music today that you found in like Me and Mrs. Jones?
The motivation.
The motivation.
Like to cheat. Welcome to episode 9. I think it's 9.
Yes, it's episode 9
of Breaking Hertz. Kama kawaida, it's me, your boy Hafare, aka Mr. Metronome, aka your girlfriend's boyfriend, aka Rodney Malik Casino. Huko last week nilikuja na hiyo nini? Kufia ya Dr. Umar, nilikuja na dashiki, all those things.
You didn't.
No, I didn't wear them on set.
Kwani sionangi YouTube?
No, I didn't wear it on set. Like nilikuwa nazo.
Why didn't you wear it on set?
Because you weren't here.
That's some pretentious ass shit.
No, because you weren't here.
You're telling people you're going to do it and you don't do it.
Because you weren't here.
You can't.
Because you weren't here. And speaking of why she wasn't here.
I'll just let him control the narrative. I have wanawake hawana sauti.
The patriarchy wins again. Aye, what do you mean?
Anyway, baby.
Suki alikidnapiwa na Tamil Tigers.
Si acha nijiintroduce hata. Kwa majina maarufu naitwa Suki Murage, aka Anita Murage, aka Suki.jpeg, aka Uzumaki, aka Jessica Rabbit. And today I'm dying. But Hafare would rather tell the story of why I missed out last week, ndo tusikie.
Ulikidnapiwa?
Ulikidnapiwa na nani?
The Tamil Tigers.
That's who you picked me up from. That's where you know I was.
As in, nilipata distress signal, nilikimbia hadi coast kwanza. Nikaingia kwa maji, nikaswim all the way to Sri Lanka in nothing but cut off jeans and a bowie knife in my mouth. Sawa?
But they just, it
took me 4 hours. Nilifika huko.
You're making fun of my trauma.
Nilifika huko, nika clear your jungle kwanza, barehanded, kama Arnold Schwarzenegger in The Predator. Nilikurescue, tukapanda chopper like tukishikilia ile ladder, ile rope ladder, everything exploding around us. Michael Bay's wet dream.
Oh my God, am I in a movie in the 70s? Tell me now. Acha tu nijue.
The only good movies in the 70s are pornos, but we're not going to talk about that. It was the golden age of porn, by the way. Anyway.
What's up, guys? I missed you all last week. Poleni. I messed up my Spotify Wrapped and got stuck in the shower listening to Arctic Monkeys. That's how my week has been. But I'm ready to share some of the music that I've listened to in the past 2 weeks. There's been a lot of really interesting releases from Kenyan music to around the globe. RIP Takeoff. That happened during the last week.
Yeah, like that was so unexpected.
It was. And I hated how dumb it was also. Like it seemed very senseless in the way that it happened.
When the details came out, I was like, damn, like he died of a nigga moment. Like the Bunduks Nasemanga, yeah.
Literally.
Like
he had so much of a legacy
nigga
to build still. Like he's obviously left so much for us to listen to. For anyone who went through uni in the early 2010s.
Ooh.
This one struck a really tight chord. Yeah, I don't know how to feel about it, honestly.
Hannah Montana, sinyao.
Hannah Montana.
Hannah Montana. Fight Night.
Yeah.
Yes.
Fight Night, the song of a generation, honestly.
2014, kama ulikuwa in the club, tulikuwa tuna demand from the DJ, weka Fight Night. And then all the Nigerians were confused. Uko Skylarks, kila mtu na shout, broke niggas. Na hatuna pesa si wote. Let's just start there. The song opens with them insulting me, but still, RIP Takeoff, it was not necessary.
It was not. Okay, so I'll just get into what I was listening to for the past week. So Super Mario by Matata. If you don't know about Matata, they are a Kenyan group that is based in Norway. The project delves into their childhood, their upbringing, and it's an ode to their mothers. They collaborated with Fee, Sauti Sol, Akelo Max, Wakadinali. It's a really interesting project, a lot of Afrobeats. What I found interesting about this project also was that there was no producer tag. I feel like something that might have been missed in context is their producer, Pink Ozola, passed on earlier in the year. He had sickle cell anemia. RIP to him as well. yeah, but I hope that we hear more about how the project came together, maybe in coming reviews or, in the news. Asali by Maya Amolo.
Can you leave that for last, please?
Okay, so
Yes.
let's hold that one. I want to talk about Lamu Nights by Octopizzo as well.
I talked about last week when you were inconspicuously missing. Ulikuwa Sri Lanka being fed rice porridge in a bamboo cage.
Oh my god! I read a couple of really interesting reviews about it online as well. Like I sent you this review by this guy called Biggest Kaka.
Yeah, I saw it.
Did you check it
Yeah,
out?
I checked it out.
Yeah.
It was very
It was very
bordering on fellatio.
a little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit. 800 words of just
waxing poetic about
God,
another man.
Where is this man? Does he know that he's changed Kenyan music forever? There's a lot of hyperbole, but fan reviews are always the best way to get this music out.
It was like kind of hard to hear what you're saying with his mouth full, but we continue. I'm playing. I am playing.
Potluck by Fancy Fingers. I fucking dig Afro Lo-Fi. The vibe that Fancy Fingers was going for on this project. I feel like I've really enjoyed Sati Soul's run doing individual projects also.
Yes.
They've really been throwing out some good stuff. But Potluck was one of my favorites. Ivy Alexander is on strings. She does a fantastic job. She was also part of this weekend's Twali for Birds, if any of you attended.
She was...
Yeah, she was...
Okay. We'll have to talk about that show, Pia.
We will. Out of the Comfort Zone by Umoja Sounds. It's a beautiful, beautiful EP. Mufasa was also on there. He was also part of Twali for Birds and Ama Cheruto. We also have Maji by Jivu and Maga, who was formerly of
Maga the
Red
fella.
Acapella. Yeah.
Maga the fellow of Red Acapella. A good friend of mine, actually.
Really?
Yes. Yana Yabadu, really good homies of mine. But they check out their old work. Even individually, they're really good artists. Yabadu is doing great things, Ukunje.
Yeah. So they have a feature from Blinky Bill on this project. It was produced by Dilly. Afrofusion. It's a beautiful experimental sound as well. I found it like an easy listen with a bit of poignant lyrics. Like that's the only way I'll put it. They have an interview on 254 Express. Shout out to Radio 254.
Shout out to them, actually. Shout out to all the good things Radio 254 are doing.
Yeah.
Juki and his team are doing great things.
Juki and his team are doing amazing.
And they're actually now putting out music under the Studio Radio 254 banner. You can actually find music they're making themselves on Spotify and on Apple Music. So make sure you go check it out.
Mm-hmm. Now I want to get into some of the international projects I was listening to last week. Oh my God. Working on My Karma by Division. Watch her too. We're definitely going to talk about this later in the show as well because
those parties I haven't even checked it out. I haven't even checked it out yet.
You have to because it's literally the most toxic album of the year, in my opinion. That is the patron saint, the king of fuck niggas. He's really just redefining
the king of fuck niggas.
That is the toxic man.
Really?
Through and through. First of all,
a man I aspire to be.
Listen, this project
I've been too nice, baby.
This project has some oldie goldies that they really refined cheating and just fucking women's lives up, I guess, in the early 2000s and late 90s. We have Jermaine Dupri, who was on executive production. Jermaine Dupri, obviously, we know him as famously cheating on Janet Jackson.
Famously? My God.
Jay-Z himself, Beyonce's husband, who is also a cheating ass nigga.
Wow. Yeah, he is, by the way.
They shouted him out. He actually cleared one of the samples. So Song Cry, remember Song Cry? It's one of the samples on the project. Jay also had some feelings about what Daniel did with the lyrics on the song that he actually did sample. It's probably one of the most toxic songs on the album. I'll also say Get Even is one that's...
So, unasema hii album ni what people think Future does.
Yes. In fact, Future should have been part of it if they wanted to make it
Future ain't that toxic. Mimi nakwambia kutoka ile Future realized that these niggas are buying into this shit and they're like he doubled down. I feel like he's also a bit of a soft ass nigga considering he had that entire run when he was just making projects crying to Ciara because she'd found a new man. So he's not that toxic. The second half of Throwaway is a man on his fucking knees weeping because a woman left him. And that is who Future is. Alipitia situation akasema fuck these hoes. Like every man in Nairobi, Every man. A slight inconvenience, a little bit of heartbreak turns you into a stone cold monster.
Oh my god. So yes, I was also listening to Love for Rent by Smino. I love Smino. Dochi, she's had a fantastic run this year in general, and she's also featured on this project. I feel like the song that she's on is also one of my favorites. He spoke with Complex. He said that he likes that his music inspires people to look inward. It's a lot of self-care on the project, so be sure to listen to it if you want someone to drop you some gems. I feel like Smino is also just in a genre of his own when it comes to R&B, rap. So just the way that he fuses all those sounds together and raps and sing raps on them is fucking fantastic. And lastly, I was listening to The Car by Arctic Monkeys.
Ooh, that is okay. Ulikuwa stuck kwa bafu nayo.
Nilikuwa stuck kwa bafu nayo. That's the project I was listening to before I planned to come for last week's show and got locked in the bathroom. I did not have my phone on me, so my Spotify Wrapped is done because I was there for like 3 hours listening to straight nothing but Arctic Monkeys.
Spotify is gonna make so much fun of you.
Spotify is going to roast me.
Don't post it online, by the way. Watakutukana vibaya sana. You know, I know my Spotify Wrapped. The number one song is gonna be Love Strain.
Mm-hmm. How have you been this year, Meji?
I have not been okay, but I am still here, Sindio. Anyway,
yes, Spotify Wrapped is coming up. That is your end of year mental health report. That's how you know what you're going through the whole year. For real.
I've been hanging on by a frayed thread. I just like to point that out. Anyway, I think you want to catch up like in 2 weeks of albums.
But nimemaliza, now you can jump into what you were listening to.
I'll quickly go through mine.
Shout out to Venant also for holding it down last week.
Amenda up yata. Shout out to Venant. So for me, what I was listening to, first of all, catching up on Maya Molo's catalog before Asali drop. Leave Me at the Pregame. Fantastic project. And it's so good to see, like, that's her first project and it was so cohesive.
It was
so secure. It was so, it's a project you can actually put out and be proud of. Yeah. Especially for a first project. I don't expect a lot from people's first projects, first songs, because there's still a lot more you have to learn. But this was really good. And shout out to Maya. Hopefully we'll have her on the show next week.
Yeah.
We can talk about Asali. Then I was listening to number one draft pick by Sip T. He's a Detroit rapper, very trap heavy, very Detroit heavy sound. If you like your hyper violent, like guns and bitches and money and killing your ops type of music, you will love this shit. If you don't, it is not for you. It is binary. It's a 1 or a 0. There is no middle ground here. Her Loss, Drake and 21 Savage. This, you know what? Drake made a dance album this year, and then everybody clowned him.
Yeah.
And then he decided to do what all men do, become a raging misogynist. The man went full 4chan. Kabisa. This album is literally unrooted music. He's talking about women who have nothing to do with him. And he's trying to like dance around like, I didn't mean Megan Thee Stallion.
Thank you for that review, man.
I meant Kiki the Stallion. Who the fuck is Kiki the Stallion? Or whatever stallion he was talking about. We all know Megan is the stallion.
Did you see that one of the babes that I guess they were smashing? I don't know. Like, is it just some random babe off the internet that he took one of her pictures and used it as the track list cover?
I think that it's like a stripper from Houston. I don't even know. But at the end of the day, it really sucks that Drake is so good at this rapping thing. Like on a technical level, he is so good. If he decides like Fanya Kitu, Kama Lemon Pepper Freestyle last year, amazing song. But then he decides to do all this other fucking cornball shit that no one understands. Why do you do these things? He's on songs talking about people why are you talking about Serena Williams' husband? Out of nowhere, as you know, another kutukana the guy who made Reddit. The guy just wants to be a good father and be rich. Another kutukana bwana mtu. For what? Making fun of Ice Spice.
Yeah.
Again, raging misogynist. That man, aliambiwa your album sucked, by the way. Don't give us this dance shit. Akaenda akaa chini akapata videos and rotate. Na akasema, yes sir, this is the rabbit hole I want to jump in. Full on misogyny raps. And it sucks that album is 78% Drake and 22% 21 Savage.
22% 21 Savage.
Yes. Because I really like to...
Does 21 like bring it on his part of the...
Like the first 6 seconds of the album, 21 ameshaita pussy. And I'm like, yes, I feel the vibes.
Oh my God.
And you know how good 21 can be? Kama Savage Mode 2. When's the last time unaeka album, unasikia intro, ni Morgan Freeman?
True.
And he's saying the most cinematic, amazing shit that when two guys meet, even though they don't know each other, it's a connection of ideas. These two men cannot be separated by time. And you buy into it, inakuimas. This was fucking garbage. Despite the production, despite Drake rapping his ass off, despite everything else, it's not a good album. Not because
That's
of
unfortunate.
how it was made or how it was like created, but because of it's just Drake ruining good things by not. That man is 36 years old. Why are you still talking about women like that?
That's true.
You are a billionaire. You have all the money in the world. Why are you worried about what Ice Spice is doing?
Because he has a BBL.
But
And a bunch of other things. Like, there's just a lot that hasn't been working out for Drake as a person, or like, at least from what we know post the project. A lot of people were dragging him. We got to know a lot of stuff we didn't even need to know. T.I. was involved.
Oh yeah, the T.I. pissing on his homie pissing on, yeah.
So, like, I wish he could.
That story has been public for years. I don't know why guys it's just blowing up now.
Kanye has shown them the way. Nifundisha kunyamaza. Kila mtu anyamaze. You don't have to say some of these things. We don't need to know. We all need to know less about each other. Thank you.
But that story has been out since like 2014.
Okay.
Anyway,
Still,
after
it
that,
need to be revived at this time.
after that, the Stream of Consciousness by Bobby Sessions. Pretty good. Bobby Sessions is he's a rapid rap nigga. Like, he's a really good writer, but it didn't translate as well to him making his own music. And I feel like it's the transition sasa, where as an artist you have to find your voice, you have to find your style, you have to understand that you're rapid fire. That's the beginning. It's so generic. You need to like also be able to find yourself and the way you present your music, because you could be the best writer in the world, but ukitoa ngoma,
if you don't know how to float within the beat.
And there are guys who don't know how to write, but they will always give you great music. That's why what you call the dream, they're writing for Beyonce. Because the dream would not have the dream and make irreplaceable. Even though he got it.
Okay, no, not really. I feel like he had like less lyricism even in like his own songs. But yeah, he's a very talented songwriter. I guess.
And then
that.
Another one of my favorite artists Alto album, Joji Smithereens.
Joji has new music out. No.
Yes.
I'm so excited.
Didn't you listen to A Glimpse of Us this year?
No, I did not.
Glimpse of Us was a top 10 hit in the US.
I feel like a lot of things have really pitted me this year, but
top
I'll
10
definitely
hit
listen
in the
to
US.
It. Yeah?
First, like, I think it's the first Japanese artist to ever get to that point. Top 10 hit. And it's funny how Joji went from being like the biggest YouTuber in the world and then just stopped and was like, okay, I think I'll make music now. The album isn't as good as like Ballads Number One, but it's Joji. I still like it because it's him, but some of the songs feel so unfinished, and it's such a short album, Pia. Even though I like them a bit compressed, but
is it part of the trend where like we see songs being less than 2 minutes long? Or like less than 3 minutes.
It feels incomplete. It feels incomplete. And I blame Steve Lacy for this.
Why?
Because he's the person who made it like a thing where you can just release a song that feels like this maybe needed a bit more mastering. Or like maybe an extra 30 seconds. But at the end of the day, inakuwa a hit. So guys are like,
piling on Steve Lacy at this time is crazy, because he was also just getting like not getting piled on. He was just getting mad about how people didn't know enough of his music for his shows. Like his live shows.
The man, like, is he mad at being a superstar?
I feel like there's just, I think he just wants
is
to make music. Is he
mad because he's successful?
I feel like he just wants to make music.
That's a very bullshit way to look at it, because as in you make music to become successful. When you're successful, you sell tickets to your show, and maybe somebody had 3 of your songs or just 1 album. You can't be mad at them for listening to only 1 album and
but if you're coming along to only like sing along to the hits and not the entire discography, and you've paid for a ticket, that's also weird.
Doesn't matter to the bank account.
Yikes.
Does it?
It matters to the artistry, but...
You know what matters more to the artistry?
What?
Getting paid.
Fact. That's actually true. I can't disagree with that.
Also, let me just finish up quickly. There was Too Late to Die Young by Sonda. Came out. Again, Brent Fayez being very toxic as usual. We love that.
Yep.
And then there was Remember Me by Martin Gessa.
Martin Gessa.
It's an older project. It's an older project from 2020. But Martin Gessa is fucking amazing.
He is. He is
Yo.
such a beautiful singer. He also killed it during this weekend's Too Early for Birds. Especially loved him during the George Mukabi story. Everyone should note that story was written by Paushinsky, so shout out to him as well.
I thought it was you by there.
It wasn't me.
I was watching it with my date and I was like, yo, this looks like Suki's work.
No, I was part of the research team that found some of these stories. We were supposed to put it together for Too Early for Birds, the Beats edition, the one that was supposed to happen in 2020, but the pandemic came, closed all the theaters, we didn't get to do it. But researching for that particular edition was definitely a lot of fun. I'm just happy to finally see one of the stories on stage. I feel like it really came together quite well. So yeah, shout out to Too Early for Birds as well.
Matt, I was like, jana usiku, because we're recording this on a Monday.
Yeah.
It's like 2:30 a.m. I was like at the bar just telling him how dope he is.
Wait, you came for the last show?
I came for the little... You know I came for the last show. I was with you.
I am asking you. See, tuko formalities a podcast. Nini? Kwenda huko.
Okay, so...
Sharibu. But yes, you came for the last show. What do you think?
I liked it. I saw a lot of criticism online.
Yeah.
Regarding the, the first show.
Yeah.
And its pacing and everything. But on Saturday, the reviews were much better. Then on Sunday, I was like, yo, I liked it. It didn't connect.
Yeah.
But things don't have to connect to be good.
That's true. Like
everything exists in itself.
As long as the essence of the stories wasn't lost, like people had like different favorite stories. I feel like homogenizing the entire show because of your expectations of the past, which is why I say comparison when it comes to art, like very subjective. You need to consider what the people are also trying to put together, but it's also very valid feedback.
I have a suggestion.
Yeah.
Let's skip Asali for this week. We'll talk about it with Maya next week.
Actually, yeah.
Yeah, let's
I
skip
think
Asali.
that's a good idea.
Isn't it? Maya, I'm all... We're waiting for you, nigga.
For you. Let's go.
So anyway, let's go back to Too Early for Birds.
Yeah.
The George Mukabi story, I had no idea that any of that happened.
He has quite a crazy story. And also, if you missed out on the show, just a few basic facts. It's stuff you can even find online if you Google about him. He died at the age of 27, which is crazy because he'd already given Kenya so many hits and his impact has been so immense and like his name has kind of just been lost or whittled out as history progresses, which is weird, but that's why we like shows like Too Early for Birds, because we get to find out about artists like these and their music.
Because after the show, I was like, how many artists do we not know? What happened to them? Like, how many great artists, how many songs, how many names have been lost to the annals of history?
Yeah.
Because nobody decided to just like take a recording and just like write down this song was put out by this person and this is what they went through, this is how they got there. And you can say that about any genre, anywhere, anytime.
You can. And also just the fact that like a lot of history is also just fit, like it fits into a lot of the music that came out at the time. Like the stuff that came up during like the George Mukabi research was that you'll end up finding some of these stories even being told in the music. Like you analyze the lyrics, you'll be able to hear like a complete story of what was happening at that time in that community, how this person died, how this person was buried, the way their funeral was, things like that. It's crazy how much history is hidden in the music. So I don't know, like I'm hoping that we probably see more of this also like in our journalism. Like that's definitely something that should happen. If in case anyone is like not too keen on listening to the music themselves, that is.
The music is online though, Cindy. You can stream it.
It is, because Spotify. There'll definitely be a playlist coming up as well, so that I guess you can.
Are you curating the playlist?
Yes, I'm curating it with Coffin. So by the time this episode comes out, it'll be out. So I'll definitely just make sure that there's a link in the description.
You know, just remember something. Do you know Sixto Rodriguez?
No.
And it's like it's in the similar vein. Sixto Rodriguez was like a rock musician in Detroit in the 70s. He was a very interesting singer.
Yeah.
Put out one album, I think, and for some reason that album became really, really, really huge in South Africa.
Interesting.
Like it was one of those banned albums in SA, and everybody had a copy. So you'd go to parties and they would always play that music. That dude's career, ilipotea to, like he put out it flopped and he just went back to being a steel mill worker. Yeah, because he did a few shows. Actually, the album got to South Africa because he did a tour of SA and Australia when promoting the album. Then, like his second album, they couldn't even make it. or they did make it flopped, but in the end, he just gave up on music.
Yeah.
And then around 20, 25 years later, some of the guys who grew up with that music and listened to it, they're like, wait a minute, who is this dude? Mbona James Kia, the rumor was that he died. The rumor actually was he killed himself at one of his shows.
He was still alive.
Yeah, the rumor in SA. So
was swarming around. That's crazy.
So somebody they tracked down every so you used to get you go to the record shop that used to sell the records. They call the guys in London who they got the records from. They call the guys in the USA. The USA called the producer. It was such a long thread and took them 2-3 years to actually track that guy down and then bring him over to South Africa for a sold out stadium show.
That's mad.
It's a whole ass documentary. It even won an Oscar, I think.
Yo.
Yeah. That's what I've just remembered.
I wanna watch that, man.
I don't know if it's
where is it where can you find it?
YouTube.
You call YouTube?
It's called YouTube, yeah. It's called, I think, Finding Rodriguez or Remembering Rodriguez. Actually, look, search to Sixto Rodriguez. You will see it all.
Sixto, like six toes.
Sixto.
Sixto.
And it was so interesting just to see how this man was on the other side of the world, oblivious to everything, just working a regular day job. And on this other end, he is a superstar of mythical status.
Yeah.
People are saying I heard he killed himself at one of his, that he was depressed that he couldn't get his last album cleared, so he killed himself. And I'm like, yo, what the fuck? That's the impact music has. How many Kenyan songs have been played in, what's it called, Sabia?
Yeah. Actually, yeah, I feel like something that comes up often is also just how far Kenyan music does get, despite people saying that it doesn't. Sometimes it's just lost in the media of that specific place.
Niggas are playing
musicians in Dubai. There was an artist. I can't remember his name, but he was actually called to Dubai to write the song that would eventually become. The song that would eventually become the song of the city. Yeah. Okay. I'm trying to remember his name. Not Slim Ali. I'll make sure that I remember the name and have it down here when it continues. But we've been getting far for a while. We've been traveling around the world to spread our music for a pretty long time. I feel like this is information that we'll also just be giving on the show. Yeah.
Niggas are playing Lamba Lolo in Switzerland in the club.
Maze.
Shai Lamba Lolo. Wazungu wako hapo. They have no idea what they're saying. It's how, for some reason, Suguagaga by Sha.
Yeah.
That song was a hit song in Serbia for some reason. Serbians love that shit.
How does Kenyan music get to Serbia also? That's crazy.
Music transcends because itafika tu pahali, one DJ is gonna play it, and then somebody's gonna request it, and then the next DJ is gonna play it, and soon, half the radio stations in the country are playing that one song, and you have no idea that the song is being played in some place like Moldova. Imehit uko vibaya sana.
Yeah.
I was with, was it Mbuzi Gang a few months ago, and I was telling them how much of a hit Shamra Shamra was in TZ.
They didn't know?
They didn't know, but all Tanzanians know that the best Kenyan song is Shamra Shamra. Should we have a social network for musicians only?
We have to. I feel like there's Bop Drop. Have you gotten on Bop Drop before?
No.
So Bop Drop is
with that name I am not getting on there.
No, it's
Bop Drop.
Well,
it sounds like a drop shipping business.
Oh yes, the guy that wrote the song that ended up being Dubai's city song is Sal Davis. So you should also read up about Sal Davis. His story is incredible, and he has a couple of interviews also on YouTube. But yes, get on Bop Drop. Bop Drop is a social media app that's specifically catered to people that either you're a curator or you want to put people onto new music. So people from around the world just share songs that are very interesting to them. We have to think about this because Twitter is just about to die, I think. Ooh. Or as we know it, as far as I know.
It's going to become right-wing central.
Hey, if it already isn't. But
there's a book I read. I love this book so much. I've read it so many times. It's called How Music Got Free by Stephen Witt. It's a very interesting story of how we went from buying CDs in shops to going to Napster and to all these other things. But anyway, there's a point where he says there used to be an online music library, directory, where you could only give. To take something, you have to give something. But the catch is you could not give something that's already in the directory.
Yeah.
So as the directory grew larger, more obscure things on it. Like if you wanted like a copy of an album from Brazil, you had to go find something that was not in the directory. But since the directory was so large, you had to go find the most obscure thing. It's it was the biggest music library ever made.
That's crazy.
And you could, as long as you give, you can take. And in the end, it's like Sony, Columbia, all these big record labels got it shut down. I've forgotten the name of it, but I really like the idea because if you wanted a specific album, you had to go out of, you could find it there, but you also had to go out of your way to find something that nobody else has on there. Like as a curator, you would love that space because you go through everything. That sounds like an amazing place.
It's pretty cool, yeah. It is.
Speaking about going through everything, or everybody.
Oh my God.
You know, I've been listening to this song, Me and Mrs. Jones. Me and Mrs. Jones. That song. But
Me
the
and
moment.
Mrs. Jones, your nanny?
Yeah, Billy, what's his name? You know Me and Mrs. Jones? Billy something.
Maybe I do, but like it's not ringing a bell right now.
It's from the 70s. Ngoja tu, like I've forgotten the second name and I don't want to continue without saying the second name. So please forgive me if you're watching this. I really have to get the second name.
But you know, you can just get to why you've been listening
Billy
to
Paul.
the song so much.
Because again, it's such a vibey song. Like even without considering the lyrics, it's such a vibey song. That man is singing his heart out.
Yeah.
So smooth and dulcet. Wonderful.
Yeah.
But when you listen to it, this man is clearly fucking somebody else's wife. The entire song is about this man. They go literally every day to the same restaurant and sit in the same corner, the same booth, and then they eat, and then they talk about their days, and then they go and smash, and then this woman goes home to her husband.
That's crazy.
And I was like, this is a despicable motherfucker.
Is it like by your standards, since you're the one who was talking shit about Boys to Men the other day, is it by your standard good cheating music?
Ooh, it's wonderful cheating music. It's wonderful. It makes you want to cheat.
What do you think is missing from cheating music today that you found in like Me and Mrs. Jones?
The motivation.
The motivation.
Like to cheat. Yeah, like me and Mrs. Jones make cheating. Like cheating is a despicable thing, by the way.
No, I feel like
infidelity. We do not support it on this podcast. Kama hujatosheka na mtu wako.
Unless it's division. If you're putting it in the music, sour.
Yeah, if you're putting it in the music, but if you're fucking around,
don't do that.
Don't do that. But anyway, that song, Ukiskiza, I feel like, yo, this cheating shit sounds exciting, man. Sounds like something I'd love to do. Like they go and eat.
It's what I got from Division's project as well. First of all, it's called Working on My Karma. It's a lot of, you've been caught cheating. You want to entice the babe that you were with to come back. You make a song that goes, if I get caught cheating, that don't mean I don't love you. And it's a bunch of dudes in like a choir type situation. Like Division is insane. Like as a group, I find them to be like really pushing the boundaries of whatever cheating music is today. They also made a song about women who decide that they want to cheat because they found out that their man was cheating. So they cover like the entire spectrum of just. I might not be a proponent of cheating, but I'm a big supporter of cheating back. Why?
You have to get your lick back. You have to spin the block. Are you gonna be the victim forever?
Don't make a right.
But it does make it even, though.
It does make it even.
Exactly. What are the two wrongs don't make? It doesn't matter. It makes it even. Game ni 1-1 sasa.
I don't know if I agree with that, but
game ni 1-1 sasa. As in, tumerudi his stalemate. Hey, kama ulikuwa umeka bet goal imeingia. Like una cash out saa hiyo. Yamaje Byron. But like again, we need more like, and again, Division might not be the most mainstream act.
Yeah.
We need more mainstream acts to tell me
really lead into it.
Yes.
I feel like
if your girl only knew, Aliyah.
Ooh, yes.
That song is being played everywhere.
Even the remixed versions are fire. Like, yeah. Anyway, the 90s, kwenda nyuma, people are really making good cheating music. But I think it's also just because we've evolved as a society past doing stuff like that.
What do you mean?
Okay,
we haven't. Hey,
We
Kwanza
haven't.
sai it's even
Nairobi
better.
still exists.
You know I'm no good. By Nani? Amy Winehouse. That entire song.
You know
That is I'll cheat on you motherfucker. As in unanikatia sawa, lakini wewe jua tu utalia siku moja.
I'm cheating on you, but I cheated myself.
Yeah,
Hey.
we need more music ukisikiza uko like, oh, maybe this cheating thing isn't as bad as I thought.
Yeah.
Of course it is bad. But maybe the music will lie to you. Maybe the music will speak to you like this,
No,
like the serpent spoke to Eve.
No, it takes me back to...
Kule hiyo kitu bana. Onja tu.
Oh my God.
What ni tamu, onja tu.
It takes me to something that Ethan Hawke has said about creativity and artistry and how like people undervalue it until you've gone through something in your life and you're looking for somebody to kind of break it down to you. That's when you look to poetry, you look to music, you want to find people that are talking about your specific experience.
You don't look to spoken word though.
Damn. Kuna watu wana look to spoken word. Watafanya nini sasa?
Mko watatu
Watafanya nini?
Nairobi. When the chairman of the fan club.
My spoken word niggas, I love you. I'm here for you. I see you. Nasema true, at the end of the day, cheating music exists in the same realm as spoken word, whether you like it or not. The same when Yashinsky was in Too Early for Birds, a bit more than you had wanted. But
The first thing I had at his being
this nigga is such a hater. Oh my God.
I almost walked
my
out of the
God.
theater, bana. I didn't even pay for my ticket, so I wasn't gonna lose anything. Like shout out to my date.
Tony
You're the best.
Lisa. Oh my God. Oh my God.
No, but again, let's go back to the matter at hand. Cheating music needs to get better. Because
Why are you wearing a cheating ass shirt? Is it Hawaiian shirts ni mashati za machita? Lakini we want to see more of them.
Again, I told you, I am upgrading my wardrobe.
Uh-huh.
I want to look like Reza Ramon.
I love it.
I want to slick back my hair, get the gold chains, the toothpick,
So you
the
purchase
Hawaiian
extensions
shirts.
kama za Drake. You start like lalishing your hair with some gel.
Kwani mimi ni mwendo wazimu? Oh, yeah.
Casino shirt, casino hair, casino vibe. Go for the whole.
As in me, nywele yangu ni poor by default. I don't need too much to it.
We stand a self-knowing king.
But again, even if this is a cheating shirt, I am not a cheating nigga.
That's very important for the ladies at home to know.
Maybe Byron ni cheating nigga. Mimi sijui. Labda tunaongea hapa Byron ako na mademo watano na text babe at the same time. Are you coming to see me today? Anatoka hapa kisikiza nini? Future, my collection.
What's up ni multibet? Okay, we see you.
What's up to bed? Zote
Sneaky link zikioga sa mtafanya nini?
Sunenda, unaona tu unalala number 4. But sneaky link yako inaoga. My man, was it really a sneaky link? Ukiambia wangu good night. 9 p.m. We jua buda. Rudi kwa soko.
9 p.m. na ni Friday.
Rudi kwa soko brother.
Oh my
Cheating
God.
music needs to be better. Always cheating music needs to be better. It needs to be as good enough for you to not realize it's cheating music at once. It needs to be smooth and sexy and like
Inviting.
Careless Whisper.
Oh, Careless Whisper is also really good. Part-time lover. Part-time lover. Stevie Wonder.
How many weddings has Careless Whisper played at? Countless. That song is literally
But I
about
know.
cheating on your wife. Should have known better than to do that.
So why play it at a wedding? I feel like
Because
that's
people-
a curse. Kiasi.
No, because people don't really listen to the lyrics. They're vibing up, or they know this is a song about love because it's so smooth and soft and it vibes. It's a very nice slow dancing song. But again, this nigga was fucking around all over town on his girl. He's a wonderful woman.
If your man asks for Careless Whisper to be played at your wedding, please, please, please hire a private investigator low key.
If your man asks for nini hiyo ngoma iplewe, wajua after the wedding anatoa ring yake.
Kiasi.
Kiasi.
He's a little married.
Ooh.
A little married.
Ni wale wanaume wa I wish I met you before I met my wife.
It should have been you.
You should have been you. You sound like you've experienced that.
No, me, I don't want to talk about it today. Today of all days, Hafari, you want me to go through the archives of my heart? No, not today.
You know what? I think we should make like a heartbreak and cheating playlist.
We should. We should.
We should make a side A and side B. The first side ikwe cheating, and after the second part ikwe heartbreak, because utashikwa eventually. Nobody cheats without getting caught. Utashikwa. Nataka ushikwe juu watu unaachiwa.
The only time Future and Stevie Wonder will be on the same playlist, but like coming soon, Mazi. That's actually an idea.
Coming soon. For all the infidelity lovers in Nairobi. Actually, it fits the theme of the city.
It does. It does. So I had a question as we wind up. Who are your predictions for your top 3, top 4, top 5 Spotify Wrapped artists of the year? Who have you listened to a lot?
I know the number one song will be Love Strain. Because your song is sad, and I needed some sad nigga music. Because for real, you don't need no ticket to ride. Love Strain.
That's true. Also, what's the first song you listened to this year? Have they brought that notification to you? I thought that was really interesting.
Can I please just check my Spotify, because I just want to go through it, because I don't use Spotify as much as I use Apple Music. I use Spotify on my PC mainly.
I found Spotify to be really interesting this year. I think I've used it a lot more than I've used Apple Music. I wanted to see what the hype was about if I listened to it extensively more than I listened to Apple Music. So nimelipa this year, but sijaisikiza sana.
Shade, Cherish the Day.
You see, look, akili kwa imeharibika. I've seen Arctic Monkeys are number 2. Imagine, just one day. One day they're already up there, but I truly loved The Car. You should listen to it if you haven't.
And I think because I use like free Spotify, I don't mind the ads on PC, honestly. I know there's Confunction up on Danny. I know there's Sade. I know there's Kanye West for some reason. Before he went on his mad rant about everything. I love Nini, Devil in a New Dress. The production is insane.
Yeah.
I love that song. Oh, Rick Ross has to be on there. Rick Ross mix.
Listening to a lot of Rick Ross this year.
I listen to like 3 Rick Ross albums on repeat a lot. I love Teflon Don. Tears of Joy, All the Money in the World. That's such a nice, concise, an album when you gonna straight to the point.
Yeah.
Every single bullet hits. There's no wasted effort on that album, the entire album. There is nothing that is not supposed to be there. I love the album so much. So I'm looking at maybe those, because I know number 1 song, Need Confunction, Love Strain. And if you haven't listened to that song, come on, meachwa. And this is tying back to our cheating conversation, by the way. If you have been left by your man or by your woman, if they cheated on you, that song inakupatia mawaidha.
How to go about it.
Can't sleep, too hurt to speak, gotta call the line.
So the rest of us are listening to Solange, you're listening to Rick Ross. Different strokes.
In, is Rick Ross not worth listening to?
No, he is. I'm not saying he's not.
Why are you listening to Solange?
I'm just saying, si pia mimi natoa mawaidha kutoka Solange, kwani Solange is my preacher, my king, I'm her high servant. I don't know.
I've always been a Solange fan since Losing You.
Losing You was
a bop.
Wow.
The video was amazing.
Losing You was a lot.
Oh, before we finish here, I want to talk about 2 songs I listened to this week.
Oh,
Blinky's video.
Inaweza Haiwezi.
Yes.
Shout out to Zakadel, debut as a music video director also.
The video is insane.
I thought the concept was so crazy.
The video is insane.
The song is really good. What do you think of Calligraph's verse? It's all anyone's talking about.
I liked it. I don't think it was like... Again, Calligraph Pia, he sometimes boxes himself in sana. And he doesn't move out of his comfort zone. But when he's on kabisa. I did not hate his verse. It's okay. It fits the theme of the song. And I'm like, cool. Let's keep it going. Because the video for me was, the video was insane. Whoever came up with that concept, shout out to you. And shout out to Blinky, because I know you're watching.
Zakadel, he's also been doing Blinky's art for a couple of years now. Especially, most notably, Everybody's Winging It. He hand painted that album cover. I feel like people that put a lot of thought into the album covers like that also shout out. So yeah, I thought it was incredible, beautiful video. You should check it out.
I have a question. Do you think Blink is weak at keys too? See, it's coming.
Yes.
Do you think And
I'm so
I
excited.
might be, and
I've been waiting for it for like 2 years now.
I might be
Oh my
like, I might be
God.
opening like naweza kuwa nasema too much here, and if I am, please forgive me, Blinky. Do you think it's gonna be the same album we listened to last year?
No, it's not. I feel like Blink is taking a completely new direction, especially with how much time it's taken. Some of the collaborators that he's already talked about. He's collaborating with Hook, who was also on production for Inaweza Haiwezi. And I don't know, I feel like Blink isn't one of those like very predictable acts in terms of like how certain things will sound. So I don't think that we can compare it to any of his past projects.
Not his past projects.
Yeah.
The album we listened to last year, Mimi na wewe na yeye.
Gani?
Do you not remember he played the
Oh
album for
yeah,
us?
he did. No, he was playing some cuts for us, but like we don't know what cuts will make it to the album.
Yeah, that's the
I'm
thing,
saying, we don't know.
Because I really feel like with the time that has gone between now and when when we listened to the album, because it was like Deck last year.
Yeah, Deck last year. You should also watch Hafare's interview with Blinky. It's one of
Yes.
the best things on Kenyan YouTube, in my opinion.
So the time it took for us to like listen to it took since we listened to the album to now.
Yeah.
I feel there's enough time that he could have recorded a full other album and scrapped so many songs.
Exactly.
And that's why I'm so excited to listen to it, because I'm like, is it gonna be the same thing I had last year?
Blinky is a vibe.
Is it gonna be the same?
Definitely,
Because he told us
taking
some of
through
the features.
Beyonce
He told us some of the features. He told us about the production. I was like, is it gonna be the same people? And I'm really excited. By the Blinky listening party when?
Tell us,
Tell us
bana.
by the
Tell us.
album when?
Kama unataka kuja tuko, we are ready. We'll
Well,
just bring another seat. We are ready.
Oh, def. Lazima akuje. Like this isn't even something we're discussing
Yeah, something we have actively talked about.
repeatedly. Now before we finish,
Yeah, the other song. You had
yeah,
another
that song. I like listening to this song. It's called July by an artist called Secretly July.
Oh yes, Secretly July's debut. Wait, it's a debut, right?
It's a debut, and I liked it because of all the things I didn't like about it.
Why? What
Because-
didn't you like?
No, like I don't want to say like it's all the things I didn't like about it. I feel like all the things I feel she could improve on, because the song is good, but in my mind I'm thinking this is a debut song. Like even with have you listened to it?
No, I haven't listened to it. I'll do
Even
that
like
after the show.
Ukisikiza, you can tell like the writing could have been tighter. She still hasn't found her voice as an artist.
But she's just
Yeah,
out
she's
the
just
gate.
she's just out the gate, and that's the reason I am excited, because this is her first song out, and it's really good. I'm not gonna say like Atiningo Mambaya. It's a really good song, and if this is where she's starting at, I'm really excited to see where she's gonna be in like a year or two, when she's like gone through the motions, gotten better. Because in Nikani need to iron sharpens iron.
Yeah,
The
that's true.
more you do it, the better you get. And if you are starting at this point, how far can you go? Because I feel like she has a space for herself in the industry.
That's true.
And if this is where you're coming from, and like a lot of debut singles suck.
Yeah, that's
They
true.
suck vibaya sana. Hers did not. Hers was pretty good. And I'm really looking forward to seeing how farther she can go, how much farther she can go. Like this is one of those, unajuanga ile kwa Star Wars, we will take a keen interest in you. Yeah, I will take a keen interest in her songs, in her music. Yeah, I might pass by Radio 254 just to see what's the vibe about, because I know she's recording
also a
out of there.
presenter there.
Yeah.
And you know she's also Sichangi's sister. Sichangi had a project that came out last year.
What?
Yeah.
I did not know
Soundtrack
that.
to a Heartbreak. Yeah. So she is.
Now things are starting to make sense. Tunaanza kuelewa
So
like
definitely an interesting career to watch. So yeah, Secretly July.
I'm talking here like I'm a
Yes,
scout.
Sichangi.
Naongea kama scout.
Ni ukweli.
What's her stats?
Sini
What's her
job
stats? Oh, I like this. She ran the 40 yard in how long? Yeah, we have to get her on board.
Okay, I am personally a bit winded today, but I'm happy that we've gotten through the show, Maze.
I feel like we did a good show, considering I'm running on 2 hours of sleep.
Maze, we're running on fumes.
We're
but
running on fumes,
We had
kabisa.
things to say. We woke up, we've come. Please, for the love of God, share this show with all your friends. Thank you to everyone that I met this weekend who also had good things to say about the show. We'll keep going.
Definitely.
We'll keep
And
going.
remember, we don't want you to cheat. We just want you to imagine you want to cheat.
Consider, think about it.
Consider.
Don't do it.
Exactly.
do it.
Don't take
do
the
it.
leap of the
Don't hurt
edge.
someone like that. It's a lot of therapy, Maze.
Anyway, guys, thank you for vibing with us. This has been episode 9.
of Breaking Hertz.
Yep.
We cannot wait to see you next week for episode 10. Please watch all the other shows on The Good Company.
The mics are open. The wild card. Lockdown sessions. Wake up call. And I don't know what else. I think that's it. Ama Byron, kuna kitu ingine?
Oh, I also met Louise this weekend. Louise has the show with Ashley as well. Yeah. So just stay tuned. Everything on Good Company is good content.
Yeah.
All right.
See you guys.
See you guys. Bye.